Okay, so let's start the session. And session is about the final preparation strategy of an IP mat. And probably it's not about the study, it's all about uh, learning and listening for the person who has already done it. So I'd like to invite Avishi. Avishi has been our student when she was preparing for IPMAT. Currently, she is studying at IIM Jammu, and she has been one of the person I see particularly helping a lot of IPM kids about the examination, about the content, about the strategy. So it is not only she has been a student studying at IIM Jammu, she has been also a person who has helped many kids and about the examination, about the importance of this. So obviously, first I'd like to welcome, and obviously I'll thank you to finding out time for the session for all the kids. So
Thank you, sir.
yeah,
Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for the lovely introduction.
yeah. I'll start with. So let's begin the session because we have been taking session in the classes, even we've been discussing on and after the classes also. But I like you first to talk about uh, your preparation days. So, as a kid who aspired to do management after 12th, how how you begin? What are the stages on which different thoughts was coming in your mind? You're going through different phases, mock, score, preparation after 12th, again jumping to the rigorous study hours for preparing for these onward. So, like the brief journey of that, and probably that will be the basis on which we start taking questions answered from the kids.
All right, sir. Yeah. So, hi everyone. I'm Avishi, as sir has already informed you. So, I started my IPMAT preparation in 11th grade. So, I think June 2022 is when I joined Career Launcher. So, I found out about the IPMAT program in, I think, 8th grade. When I was in 8th grade, my parents had told me about it. And I was really interested because it's such an interesting program because you get to study so many different kinds of subjects. You're exposed to so many different areas and domains, and that's why I wanted to pursue it. So I joined CL because that was the most popular institute, and I'm very glad that I did this because they were a very supportive throughout my entire preparation journey and a very essential helping hand. So when I started in 11th grade, so I would like to tell everyone firstly that I was a commerce student, but I did not have math. And math has always been like a silent fear of mine. I have always been a little bit afraid of math and not the best at math too. So when I joined Career Launcher in 11th grade, that is the one thing that I was most scared about. How will I clear the math section, the QA section? Because I still felt like I would be able to figure out VA and LR, but the faculty at Career Launcher was really able to help me through my going through this phase of my fear of math and actually recovering from this and becoming someone who actually became very curious about math because of the way Ramanut sir also taught me, developing a genuine interest in the subject. So I feel like I spent most of 11th grade being a little bit fearful of math. But as 12th grade approached and as the seriousness of the exam started to kick in and the timeline was looming over my head, that's when I really developed an interest in math and I started dedicating more hours to studying for IPMAT. Then in about, I think, November, December 2023, I took a little bit of a break from my IPMAT preparation because I had my board exams coming up in Jan Feb. So, and I was really committed for my board exams too because once again, I was genuinely very interested in all of the subjects that I had. Like I had psychology, for example, which is a huge interest of mine, and I'm still always trying to learn more about psychology. So I was very dedicated to that, even though I was not interested in taking the CUET exam or going to DU at all. In fact, I didn't take the CUET exam. So after my board exams, I immediately got back to my IPMAT preparation and took a lot of mocks, was very serious about it then. And finally I was able to make it to IIM Jammu. Before that, I actually had a very, very long phase जब मैंने बिल्कुल ही IPMAT इंदौर पे give up कर दिया था, because I was very confident that I would not be able to make it to IIM Indore, because again, my fear of maths and higher level maths comes into the picture when you're talking about IPMAT Indore. So I was like, this is no way is this happening. So I completely dropped IPMAT Indore. In fact, मैंने I think total में 5-6 mocks दिए होंगे IPMAT Indore के, which was a very, very big mistake I made. Please don't do this. Of course, now we're approaching the exam. It's very, very soon. But I mean, this is like the main advice that I would like to give anybody who's preparing for really any competitive exam, is that don't be stressed out and don't doubt your abilities before you're even starting your preparation and before you're even getting serious about it. Don't question your competence before you can actually test it. So that's a little brief about my journey.
Okay. So what I make out from your entire discussion, the first part of your like things you shared with us. One is take the examination one by one. Right now, we have only one thing to do. Whatever capability we have, whatever strength we have, whatever preparation we have done, I need to go tell all the examinations had happened. And then we'll see how things can turn up, how I'll go to the next stage of it. So it is not like putting up each and every mindset in a day one, which Avishi talked about it. So IPMAT Indore, when you look at it, the kind of preparation required, when we look at the mathematics question, we feel like we need to learn a lot and we need to develop a certain level of skill set. But at the same time, Avishi, the cutoff is much lower than when it comes to IPMAT, Rohtak, and the JIPMAT. So essentially, what I see, oh, I need to prepare a certain level, but I need to get a certain lesser percentage marks to clear the cutoff. It means if I'm great at JIPMAT level, probably that will cover one third part of the Indore for sure. Probably I'll not be covering 50-60% parts of math, which is not required at all. So this is very, very important. We should take a clue from it. And also, you said it's an on or off preparation. When we prepare for 12th, obviously it's a milestone preparation. So one has to pay a lot of attention to it. And then obviously the once it is done, I need to come back and obviously you need to prepare hard for it. So obviously, probably I'll be not showing any PPT today because most of the question will direct it to you. I started getting question in the chat box also, so I'll be reading and that for you and expecting you to add answer to it. The first thing I wanted you to tell, uh, see, we say okay, one has to study, and I just took a session in the morning and I went to Meerut. CL has one event there. And I was talking to the kid, how many hours once you study, I think you should invest as much hours you can do because this is going to be a golden conversion and if you do it once. So what was your preparation days? How many hours you used to study? Is there anything you did separately to clock more number of hours? Was it only motivation or you plan it in a way to actually prepare for these examination?
Right. So I totally agree. I don't think that the number of hours should be what we should focus on. We should mainly focus on the number of topics that we're able to cover and also the level of difficulty of questions that we're able to solve and how much better are we really getting at each topic when we sit down to study. And that really was my main goal. And the number of hours also that I spent really varied across throughout my preparation period. So before board exams, as board exams were just coming up, of course, I spent only maybe like a few hours a week studying for IPMAT, just revising some concepts, maybe taking a mock or two once a week. But when I had a lot of time, especially in the earlier months of 12th grade, that time I did spend at least 2 to 3 hours studying per day. And then after board exams, when I was entirely free, I would spend all day studying. But it's not the number of hours that mattered, it's that how much can you figure out a topic like the depth to which you can understand a topic fully so that you can solve as many number of questions as possible. So I think that should be the main focus, especially now that the exam is so close. Like the number of hours really should not matter right now. We should just focus on doing as many questions as possible, as many mocks as possible.
Okay. So I just get a question from Adya. She's asking, what is the main topic that came in Indore and JIPMAT in mathematics? What I'll do for support, and probably you can just add to it, I'm going to show a PDF where what number of questions came in the previous year's examination, and probably you can speak on that. So that way, probably the message will be much clearer. So if it is visible uh,
Yes,
to
yes, yes.
people. Yeah, it's a visible. Okay. So this is the topic which came in IIM Indore, and this is like if you look at the questions variety, and that's where your point even like it's more convincing. Uh, each and every topic you should be good at basics, because nowhere any chapters are inclined where I'm going to score more. So I can't leave the topic. That is the one thing is quite visible, or I can create some topic with a more interest of it, but I should go through each and every one. So number system one, so simple interest, compound interest one, geometry two, averages three. This is like three question. I'll say luxury is a part of my arithmetic. So somewhere I'm finding the questions related to set, logarithm, function. People are actually afraid of it. If I'm not a maths background, should I prepare for matrix and determine? Answer is what? Why to worry about it? Because only one question I should not study, and probably I'll be through. And even in the MCQ also, you'll find the questions from all the backgrounds. So TSD, to ratio proportion, simple interest compound interest. I've been telling simple interest compound is the most important topic. Time and work is the most important topic, because you learn a basic concept of one topic, but you are very much sure about it. The question will come from this topic for sure. So that's a surety we can get. So बोलते हैं return on investment बहुत ही अच्छा है इसमें. And then obviously the averages, algebra, logarithm as it is. So this is of a IPMAT Indore. I'm just showing another one which is I'll say IPMAT Rohtak. JIPMAT, I believe it is not there in my system currently right now. I need to figure it out where it is. So when we look at the IPMAT Rohtak, you will find relatively the topic which is of the 10th class of it. So number system, time and work, time to distance, averages. You look at a bunch of the question. Time and work, 4 to 5 questions. So you think about it. So suddenly you are building up one topic, you are able to get the score. And but easier question obviously require more number of questions to get attempted. So what is your take? What topic you suggest to be done meticulously, or anything somebody can overlook and move it forward?
So, sir, I think specifically right now, as we're talking about JIPMAT, in the context of this exam, I think it's important to focus on all of these easier topics. So, arithmetic, algebra, number system, time and work, time, speed, distance, as we can see over here, because you get a lot of questions from a variety of these easy topics. And these questions are also relatively easy. Like, if you know the basics of the concept, then you can easily solve all of the questions in the paper. So, I think developing a very good theoretical understanding of all of these topics is very important, because then the paper will be like a cakewalk for you. Specifically, right now for JIPMAT, I would suggest like you should obviously not be spending your time focusing on all of the higher level topics like matrices and determinants. All of that you can do after the JIPMAT exam to revise all of that. But make sure you do those too, because they can fetch you a lot of marks, because they might be a very complicated topic and they might be perceived as very difficult, but it actually might be a very basic, simple question once you get the concept.
True, like a question from the permutation, combination, and probability. So you'll find the probability is based out of the one formula, the number of favorable outcome divided by total number of outcomes, and you get the question on a direct because it's an easy question. So one should not miss it, and it is important for us to go through each and every topics in basic. What question has been asked? Probably I'm reading for you. It is for you only. Despite you being non-math student, how did you cope up with the fear of mathematics, especially topic covered in 11th and 12th standard?
Okay, so I think here is where the CL faculty comes into play and Ramanuj sir's classes. See, when you attend the classes of a very good mathematics faculty, you understand that all of these topics are actually really not that hard. They've just been designated to be taught in 11th and 12th grade, but that does not mean that they are inaccessible to you as a non-math student. So, for example, something that I also did other than attending classes was that on YouTube, I would try to watch videos. There are lots of videos where people are explaining these topics in an interesting way. So this is not exactly for competitive exam preparation, but they'll give you a lot of real world examples and real world applications of, for example, probability, matrices and determinants. And all of this will a develop an interest in the subject for you within you, and b you will understand that it's really not that hard once you get down to it. So just once you take the fear out of the equation, you'll be able to understand everything very easily. It's really not that hard. It's just to break the inertia of getting yourself to that topic, getting yourself to the supposedly difficult math concept. And once you get there, you're able to solve questions and understand the concept. But I think thoda sa it's also important to forget that you have an exam coming up so that you can understand the concept conceptually and remove that stress out of it. The stress that, oh, I have to get into an IIM, I have to clear this exam. Try to develop a genuine curiosity, and then everything will be very easy. That would be my advice.
Okay. And true, Avishi, if it comes to aptitude mathematics, some other, if somebody is from the mathematics background also, they have not learned the question of this kind. Even that is also comes very new to them. Only thing is, they are a bit confident about mathematics. So I will say it is not about the content. It is all about what you think about where you are going to learn it. The moment you create interest, वो interest होगा कि knowledge होगा, ये बड़ा chicken की story है. Interest होगा तो knowledge होगा और knowledge हो गया तो भी interest होगा. The moment the moment you start learning from the basics, and I think it's happened in the classes also, we always try to give basics at the initially, and then we try to tell, okay, this much you should know, and probably you can build block on that. So that is true. Even for cat preparation, I can just putting an example. We get people from a BA Hindi background, and they said, sir, we have not studied mathematics uh, after 10th, and even not been touch of those subjects. And they build up, they create interest, and they get decent percentile in mathematics. And they have done well into many of colleges. They went to IMB, or even last year one kid went to MDI Gurgaon. Nakul got 98 percentile, and be a Hindi background. So obviously these aptitudes are not that difficult. Only thing one has to fight a bit. थोड़ा सा एक initial fight होता है. Probably if that we cross, we may get closer to that and start understanding also. Yeah. Okay. So there is a, I think obviously talked about it. One question is coming. Uh, have you give all IPMAT examination?
Yes, yes. I took all the IPMAT examinations. I mentioned that I didn't take the CUET exams, but IPMAT all
Yeah.
exams.
Okay. 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 So, obviously, it is important us to speak on one very important topic, which as a teacher we feel like that's a key. See, attending the classes is of very much necessity. I say, so taking a breath. अगर मैं class आ रहा हूँ तो मैं सांस ले रहा हूँ. But taking a food is important for the body to survive. Where I always feel writing mocks and analyzing it. That always I consider in the category of food. How do you explain, like how do you want to really tell all the kids who are preparing for JIPMAT and other examination, how they do analyze these all the mocks, how you did in your time? So can you elaborate a bit? कि मैं ऐसे बनाते थे, डायरी बनाते थे, बुक मार्क करते थे. So probably that process is I want you to explain a bit because that is very, very important.
Right, sir. So, throughout my entire preparation journey, whenever I took a mock, I would take screenshots of any question that I either got wrong or that I wasn't able to understand at all. And then I would try to understand it in that moment, but also I would store this library of questions. And then during my revision phase, right before the exam, after my board exams, I would go through all of these questions, I would go through all of the solutions, and I would try to revise all of that because a lot of these questions tend to get repeated. They'll just word it differently, but it'll basically be the same question or have the same root concept within. And then in that period, right before the JIPMAT IPMAT exams, I would do multiple mocks a day. And then I would go through the solutions of all the questions that I didn't understand, or again, that I got wrong, especially the questions that I got wrong, because it's very critical to see where you're going wrong instead of seeing the questions that you're not picking. Because as Sir mentioned yesterday when I met Sir, that picking the easy questions is very, very important. So I also try to see how many easy questions was I able to pick, how many questions that I solved were the difficult kind or were they easy. So that's also really important. And I would see the number of questions that I'm attempting from each section. So especially in JIPMAT, because there is no this thing sectional cutoff. So I would try to see the number of questions that I'm attempting in each section, because I was always trying to maximize on the verbal section because I knew that maths is simply not my forte. So that's how I would sort of do the analysis, and I would do as many mocks as possible. Like I did 3 to 4 mocks a day during that time right before the exam. And that was really helpful because it's also comprehensive revision, because mock mein you're getting questions from every single topic. Some topics you might even forget to revise, but then wo mock mein aa jayega, so automatically you'll end up revising it. That's why mocks are really, really helpful, especially at this crucial time.
And so true, Avisi. It is basically when we write a full length mock and we get introduced to all the topics, and those topics are really going to remind you where you're good at it or where you're not. And then it can be done quick revision also. So I missed the formula and I was very sure about ये तो formula बहुत आसान है. I went back to the funder book, revised, and quickly I solved the question. What will happen? That will give you confidence. Oh, you had been 1 question up, 2 question up, and that's where probably things will go in your favor. Uh, One question is coming from Laksh, and he's asking, what should I do for these 7 days? वो एकदम बता दो कि क्या क्या कर सकता है कोई. Is there anything, any strategy you feel you want to share with these kids? Probably that will be helpful to them. 7 days क्या करना है?
So I think mainly Abhi, it's a twofold technique that you should apply right now for preparation. Firstly, revise your formula book if you have a formula book or any sort of concept notes that you have from classes. Go through that, try to go through it either every single day for maybe an hour or every other day. Maybe if you're taking a break, you're eating lunch or something, then sath mein you can revise all of the formulas, all of the concepts, and then take as many mocks as possible. But in the last on the last day, I would suggest don't take mocks. On the last day, just go through all of the questions that you've gotten wrong in the past and the solutions of those questions. And this, I think you should also keep doing every single day, because this is the number one thing that helped me increase my mock scores, because I was able to go back to what I've done wrong again and again and see the patterns in what I'm getting wrong, so that I could then fix the conceptual root of the problem. Maybe there was something that I truly didn't understand at the core of it. So then I'm able to go back to that topic and like quickly maybe ask Himanshu sir for the video of that topic, watch it and try to understand what went wrong in my understanding, and then go back to doing mocks. Try maybe not to dedicate too much time to any particular topic. Just do mocks, because again, usse comprehensive practice ho jata hai, and you can go through any questions that you've gotten wrong in the past. That's what I would do if I was in your place right now.
Yes. And also, we can interpret it in a way. If I'm getting things wrong, What it mean? Potentially, I'm losing the marks which I could have actually achieved. So that I deserve it. If I know the topic, I should deserve that marks. So I start working on that by mistakes. And the moment we start writing our mistakes, we started knowing the pattern, which you said also. And somebody, well, I found somewhere written in one book or somebody quoted, and he says, those who write their mistakes, their success story written by others. जो अपनी गलतियां लिखते हैं उनकी सफलताओं की कहानी लिखने वालों की लाइन लगी रहती है. So I think it's a beautiful way to improve, and which because you deserve it. See, at the end of the day, any examination, whatever score you get, it has to do with you. I thought I'll be of X level and I'm getting X plus, I'll be happy. But I'm getting X minus, I'll be sad. It is not about anybody else. It is all about you. You know about yourself. And then you start comparing, yaar, ye marks to mere ko aana hi chahiye. So that is very, very important. The good point I am taking from Avishi's discussion. Write down all the mistake you made in your mocks. Put in a diary. Even you could talk to the faculty saying, sir, I'm making mistakes in mathematics of these kind. Probably in half an hour or 15-minute discussion with faculty, you'll be able to figure it out. क्या चीज है जो तुम मिस कर रहे हो? So that is very, very important. Somebody has asked question, what has been cut off for IPMAT, JIPMAT, and all. I'm just sharing, Avishi. Probably then things will be uh, clear to all. This is of, yeah. So if we are able to see this, yeah, it's visible. I think it's visible to all.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is what IPMAT Indore for last 3 years of cutoff. So we can clearly see the number of questions required to clear. I'm just taking help of a general category. So we are saying in short answer, we need to solve 24 questions. So it's not 24 question, is it 24 marks? And what marks mean? 4 marks per plus for correct attempt, and then obviously -1 for incorrect. So out of 15 question of short answer, that too I have a 40 minutes of time. I need to solve 6 questions. So 6 out of 15. When it comes to MCQ, I need to solve around 9 questions out of 30. 9 questions out of 30 is almost one third of your paper. And if I add together 9 plus 6, 15 out of 45 questions in 80 minutes of time, I think it's a precisely one third of the question what we are talking about. So, but yes, definitely you have to be very, very mindful about the cutoff I see in the English. You look at it 112, 125, 113. 113 means 28 questions out of 45 questions. So that's why you have to be very, very careful, because while writing, while preparing for IPMAT Indore, you have to be good, equally good at, even you have to be a bit better in the English side of it, because you need to command a good level of questions and you need to actually surpass that. So 60-65% questions to तुम्हें करने ही है. Good attempt will be you need to go around 75 to 80% of it, and that's where you are creating your score in that competition. This is of IPM Rohtak and IPMAT Rohtak. What we say, except 2023, I will not say. So certainly, sudden, I don't know where this 409 marks came, and even you were very surprised. 2022 and 24 seems much more logical for IPMAT Indore. So out of 120 question, we need to roughly solve 75 odd 75 odd questions. So that is again uh, closer to 50% question, because the questions are easy a bit. JIPMAT is slightly better question. So, and obviously you can just correct me, even add on this. I see IPM Indore, and then I see JIPMAT, and then I see IPM Rohtak as far as question levels are concerned. What is your take on this?
Yes, I think JIPMAT has a very well distributed level of questions. Like you get a few difficult questions, a few moderate questions, mostly they're easy. I think it's a good set of questions, it's a good mixture. You get to address a lot of different topics also.
Yeah. And IPMAT is a slightly a basic level formula driven, and probably we need to be very quick and accurate while cracking that. So JIPMAT cutoff are like this. Obviously, JIPMAT takes taken by two of the prominent IIMs. Obviously, a few IIMs are being added, so these are not mentioned because they will come up this year itself. So if you look at the Jammu has kept a very fixed cutoff for last 3 years, almost 50, 50, 50, and then English about 69, then again 23, 24 is a 50 marks of it. And look at the kind of distribution. So 100 questions, 100 questions, 150 minutes of time, and roughly I need to score 150 marks. So 50, 50 is so slightly uh, 12, 13 questions per sections. But yes, cutoff doesn't mean it is a score you should get. You should get better than this. Then you will be better positioned in your interviews processes. So, but yes, this is what the reality we're saying 13, 13 all questions in 39 question in overall out of this. So 40% question, anything of 50%, 45% right. Certainly you are very much rightly positioned for interview and likely to be there into institute after your examination. So that is the cutoff is about it. Obviously, we should just take it down. Let me see the questions.
So actually, I just remembered this little anecdote from my IPMAT Indore exam that I wanted to share since we
Yeah.
were talking about the cutoffs. So I think this will be really helpful for all of the IPMAT exams. So in IPMAT Indore, I cleared the short answer cutoff and I cleared I fast surpassed the verbal cutoff, but I missed the MCQ cutoff by a few marks. And this was just because I wasted so much of time on this one LR set, which I was fundamentally not understanding. So I really should not have wasted the almost 10-15 minutes that I spent on that set. So it's a very crucial piece of advice that I wanted to share before I forget it, that if you're not able to understand something, please don't go after it. Just leave it and try to attempt other questions, because you're wasting your precious time. You don't have time to figure everything out there. It's not a board exam where you have designated time for every single question and you're there meant to solve every single question. So please choose your questions wisely. And if you're not able to get something, just leave it. And I think this was also because I was very, very nervous before the IPMAT Indore exam. So when I went in there and I wasn't able to figure out one question, I was just doubting my abilities, and that's why I was hell bent on figuring it out. So please don't put yourself in that position. Also, someone just asked my JIPMAT score. I got 293, which was 97.9 something percentile.
Okay. So Han has just raised hand. Why we can also take questions straight from you guys. Only thing is, come out on camera, unmute and speak because you have a rights. So instead of I being a spokesman for you all asking question to Avishi, I invite a couple of you to switch on a video and switch on the mic and then speak straight question to Avishi. Let's unmute and speak.
Yes, sir. I wanted to ask that I saw online that for JIPMAT is some overall cutoff also of 310 to 330 marks.
Avishi, did you get the question? He's saying 300 marks for this JIPMAT. Is
Mm,
it true?
I'm not sure. I don't think that was the cutoff. Of course, like all girls got this +5 percentile thing, which they were doing. But regardless of that, I met the general male cutoff too, and it wasn't 300 something. It was much lower than that. That's all I remember. That it was because I made the cutoff. That's why I'm saying this. So it wasn't that high.
Okay. Okay, anyone else want to ask question? Okay. Okay, so now let me add, because probably that uh, motivation will also required for these kids, why they're preparing for it. So obviously, one question obviously I wanted to ask in the beginning, but because I found this is a time where I get the chance, because no questions is left in the chat box. When you look at your the program which is designed as a IPM 3 years plus 2 years, uh, what all you guys studying? Because and how it is designed, how much inclusive things you have been learning at your institute, why it is one of the best program, for which way you feel like, yes, this decision is the right decision, you have taken it for your future. So I just wanted to give that glimpse to these kids so that they also understand why it is so important for anyone to go after the examination, get it, and then be at the good institute for doing IPM programs.
Right, sir. So IPM is definitely, I made a very, very right decision of choosing IPM because it is such a versatile program, and they're always advocating that we are making holistic managers, we are developing holistic managers, and they truly are, because we study everything from the usual cost accounting, economics of business that you would study in any BBA program, to things like psychology, to things like sociology, history, geography, and even performing arts. So you're exposed to so many different kinds of subjects that you're able to develop this very diverse perspective of looking at different things, of looking at things that are going on in the world and any problem that you're met with in the real world. So even when we go into the corporate setting, anytime you're met with a problem, there are so many perspectives of looking at it that you're exposed to through the IPM program that I don't think any other BBA program, BCom program brings you. And on top of that, not only are our academics so rigorous, because we also have relative grading, and you might be a topper in your school like me, but then you go there and find out that everybody was a topper in their school, so it becomes really hard to secure that good CGPA that you want. But other than that, life is also very rigorous because we have committees, we have clubs, we have constant events happening. And one very good thing about IIM Jammu specifically is that everything is student run. Like, from hearing things about IIM Rohtak, hearing things about Indore, all of these other IIMs, nothing is as student run as IIM Jammu. Like, even the placement committee, these students are, I'm also a part of the placement umbrella, but the people who are in the placement committee are one-on-one in touch with HRs, getting them to come to IIM Jammu for internships and for future placements. So the kind of experience that you get from being part of these clubs and committees is crucial, and it is so essential. It really develops all of your skills, your soft skills, your hard skills, and you come out being a completely transformed person. And I see that even with my seniors who I speak to, they're, I admire them so much because they know so much about so many different subjects, and you can truly talk to them about anything in this world and they'll have an opinion on it. They'll have a solid understanding of it because they have such a good conceptual, theoretical, as well as practical understanding of it. And the fact that social internship, corporate internship is a compulsory part of our program, so it gives you that corporate experience also, as well as experience of giving back to the world, which is so important. And you understand the importance of it when you come here. So you truly get everything. And with IIM Jammu, another thing we have is the boot camp program. So we have that at the end of semester two. So I'm in semester two right now. At the end of semester two, we'll go to this place called Patni Top, which is in Jammu only. And basically it's a 5 to 7 day immersive experience where you do a lot of different activities. You do a lot of team building exercises and a lot of leadership exercises that really make you the holistic manager that IIM Jammu envisions you to be. So I think that's why the IPM program is, it's almost like a personality development program. It makes you an entirely different person.
Very good. And see, so what you spoke about it. So the life is about this. Now, once I reaches to I'm Jammu, I should start fresh because I can't boast also. Okay, it's like I crack. I'm Jammu. Each and everybody has done so. I can't say, oh, I had this percentile in IP JIPMAT. Probably each and everybody will be slightly upper and lower. So life start fresh. I think you guys go to even a bigger IIMs for PG program and even start again. You start fresh. So I truly, I think, being humble, reaching these colleges. But yes, the exposure you talked about it, the program you talked about it. When IPM Indore started first time, I think that time the kind of curriculum they posted, it was truly what you're talking about. It is actually to make a better manager. They should study history. They should study geography. They should also perform. They should be having courses like performing arts. What you talked about. Yeah. One question coming because you talked about one LR set where you spend a lot of time. So it's saying a lot of time goes while doing those questions. How to basically judge that? Is there anything you understood even after the examination? I have certain way to suggest them, but I want your version, and then probably I add to it.
So, one thing that I did was, one very basic elimination method that I had was that if I was met with an LR set or a DI set, firstly, I would try to understand it. I would spend 10-15 seconds to just read the set and try to comprehend what it means. So, for examples, if it was something from games and tournaments, and it was, for example, a question about cricket, if I'm not able to fundamentally understand it because I don't understand cricket at all, then I can't solve that question. So that is the first judgment call, whether you're getting what the question means or not. And the second elimination stage is when you start doing the questions. I think about 1 minute into trying to attempt a question or trying to attempt a few questions from the set, if you're not able to get it in that duration, then you should probably leave that set. But it's okay to try your hand at it, but then don't spend more than a minute trying to understand it. Now, I think Sir can share his strategy.
Yeah, so we say we can't go to the examination and start solving the question which is alien to me. I have not seen it, I have not practiced it, I'm not good at it. So I'm not there to experiment, I'm not there to show my mathematical skills. देखो मैंने अच्छा वाला सवाल solve कर दिया. Nobody will give credit to it. As a manager, you should be very, very smart on this. Easy question के भी उतने marks मिलते हैं, difficult के भी उतने मिलते हैं. तो मैं तो पहले इजी सवाल ही करूंगा बट दैट इजी क्वेश्चंस काउंट विद योर एक्सपीरियंस सो ऑन एलआर it is advisable so you should practice at least 2 LRs per day that's where you start building up and obviously some LR will come in your mocks way and then those LR is also going to be practiced practicing mock LR question twice thrice will give you what is the best way to crack because एक बार crack हो गया but sometimes you crack it but you are not into it you will not able to do it again ये वैसी बात है कि किला में चले तो गए but पहली बार गए थे याद नहीं आ रहा it is not you must read the question and you must able to see the steps the day you started seeing this then you started judging the questions well and obviously talks about it never ever touch the question which you are not familiar of so if I'm not familiar with the cricket so obviously I'm not going to pick it up so I'll actually go to the next question. And at maths, we say where the 3 questions, 4 questions are there, I can spend one question's time to figure it out. Is it going forward or it is not? Not, then probably after 2 minutes, after 3 minutes, I stopped already, move to the next question. You may feel कि सर अब तो होने ही वाला है करे नहीं ऐसे तो बहुत बार फीलिंग आएगी बस बस हो जाएगा वैसा नहीं होता क्वेश्चंस ओपन अप होता है then you start doing very quickly so leaving question quitting in a midway is also important you should know when to quit and it is very true and all the businessmen The moment their factory started doing bad, they don't wait, it become worse. They just close it so that they should focus on the other things. So that is the things we wanted to share. Okay, the questions, supplement question to that. What is the ideal score in mock? बहुत simple है. Mock neither give you selection nor it's going to reject you. Nothing ideal. Probably you should find out where you are not scoring. And if that is mentioned, you are meeting with the faculty and then you are figuring it out. Meet Himanshu and say कि मेरा score में ये chapter मेरे नहीं हो रहे. Let's do it. Although it's a busy month, but it's okay. We want to be busy. We don't want. So what is your take? What is the ideal score? कितना आदत आदत तुमको लगता है कि तुम्हारा हो ही जाता? ऐसा कभी हुआ क्या? कितने
नहीं
लो आए, कितने हाई आए? वो बताओ.
सर, मेरे इससे बहुत ज्यादा भी आए थे और इससे बहुत कम भी आए थे, बट आई थिंक दोनों ही डिटरमिन नहीं करते कि फाइनल कट ऑफ क्या होगा एंड इफ यू मीट द कट ऑफ और नॉट. सो I think the cutoff should not be your concern right now. Of course, you should try to see your percentile in mocks कि दूसरों से compared कितने आ रहे हैं, just to, because I mean it is a relative thing at the end of the day, but you can't determine right now what is a good score or not.
So yes, well, because see, for many kids, what's happened? They come for 1 month preparation. Sometimes they have only a month time. They have spent only 20 odd days. When Sajal was there in the session, Sajal studied with us for 1.5 months preparation. So he was just thinking, things was so fast. Obviously, you need to adapt it with this. So idea is अभी भी 7 दिन हैं. क्या बीत गया उससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. क्या मेरे पास 7 days हैं? Can I start writing mocks? Can I analyze those mocks? Analyzing mocks are the key, and we are repeating again and again. Okay, I think by this, with order 45 minute session, we have already covered 49 odd minutes. Uh, question is coming: how to tackle reading comprehension questions effectively? Is there any suggestion by you to do all people here?
So I think for me, what I would try to do first is understand the reading comprehension, because most reading comprehensions are comprehensible. Like you can figure out what they mean. It's just some of them, maybe in Indore, that end up being really, really hard where you don't understand what they mean at all. So first you try to grasp the meaning and then I would go to the questions. That's what I did normally. And if I'm not able to grasp the meaning, then I would look at the questions and try to find the solution in the paragraph. That was what I did.
Yeah. And also, like, see, it's a reading. I think most of the kid, uh, because you have been studying in the schools, each and everything has been in English medium. So I always see the kids only the confidence required and the practice required. The moment you start doing a lot of practices on this, you'll be able to figure it out. This is not going to be a very big problem for you. Okay, so Avishi, I think the last uh, part of the session. Uh, any words, any advice, any wisdom you want to share with them? And I think the kids who will be joining your college will be a part of your group. But yes, any advice, any wishes you want to extend to them, and if required, we may ask you to come again. And when it comes to a preparation for PI, so I like to again putting a invitation right now itself. So I'll ask you to come and help the kid. Any last words, any last wisdom, message you want to share with all?
All right. So I think the main thing that I wish I could have done differently is being less stressed and less nervous, because I'm sure I would have done much, much better in the exams if I was not stressed out. So please leave all your nervousness outside of that exam room, outside of that exam center, because just go into the exam and pretend that you are the best person there and you are truly meant to get into IIM Indore. You are going to be all India rank 1. Have that delusional confidence, because when you'll have that delusional confidence, then you'll be able to solve the questions with ease. And another thing is that if you think the exam is hard, remember that the exam is hard for everyone. So don't get
Yes.
too stressed out. And if you think the exam is easy, remember that it's easy for everyone. So at least attempt a lot of questions. And yeah, that's it. I think best of luck. And I think if you prepared properly, you'll do really well. And I'm sure you'll find your place in one of these 5+ IIMs now that there's, I think Sirmaur and Shillong have also come up. So you'll definitely find your place somewhere. And it's the place where you're meant to be.
Super. So I'll not add much to it because you have given a final uh, mantra for this. See, at the end of the day, I need to go and perform what I know I need to perform. I can't do more than that. It is not like someday something will happen. I know it, I'll do it. Just do it. I think you do potential, make lesser mistakes. I think your results, which you'll be proud of it. And that's what we want. So each and everybody has a different capability. We don't want get more than what I deserve. So I deserve at least what I deserve. So I wish each and everyone keep your keep your hard work, keep your focus, and leave the mobile for a few days. Obviously, you can use it for test and all, but obviously this is a distraction. And in the examination, we need a lot of focus. And Avishi said, nervousness को बाहर देना है. किसी कोई होगा किसी को दे देना है वहां पे जो भी मिले. ज्यादा टेंशन ले रहा है तो उसको और दे लो भाई तुम यू लाइक इट यू टेक इट. But yes, I think this is what we wanted to take from the session out. Thank you, Avishi. Thank you very much. I think it is very easy for us when we listen for the kids who have done it. Because as a teacher, we have been telling it again and again. I think your words are truly reaching to all the kids. I think they have been waiting for your session. A couple of kids said, कि अविशी का session है क्या? So we'll be attending it. So I think you have a fan following also, which I was not knowing earlier. So when I went there and then I started scrolling your couple of channels and then I found it, oh yeah, so a lot of content she has already done it. So thank you very much. And,
So
and thank you all for attending this session. I hope you got some wisdom from the session. And let's continue. Again next week we'll be coming with a lot of session for IPMAT and JIPMAT special. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Good night. Thank you.
thank you, sir. Thank you.